The massive golden ship appeared above Earth without warning. It was 3 kilometers long, covered in gleaming metal that reflected sunlight like a mirror. Every television screen, computer monitor, and phone display on Earth showed the same message. At the same time, Commander Rex stood on the bridge of the Earth Defense Station, watching the alien vessel through the viewport. His team of officers worked at their stations, monitoring every reading they could get from the mysterious ship. Lieutenant Amy rushed to his side with a tablet showing the translated message. "Sir, the message is repeating in every language on Earth," she said, her voice steady despite the historic moment. "They call themselves the Korvax Empire." The message was simple but grand. "People of Earth, rejoice. You have been chosen to join the mighty Korvax Empire. We are the supreme rulers of this galaxy, commanding 10,000 star systems. Your primitive world will now serve the greater glory of our eternal empire. Surrender peacefully, and you will be treated as valued servants." Rex read the message twice, then looked at Amy. A small smile crossed his face. "Get me a line to the President," he said, "and tell the media teams to start recording everything." In the White House Situation Room, President Walker sat with his advisors. General Tom, head of Space Command, was explaining the situation. "The ship is definitely alien, sir. Technology we've never seen before. But our scans show something interesting." "What kind of interesting?" Walker asked. "Their shields, weapons, and engines are advanced, but not impossibly so. Maybe 100 years ahead of us. Not thousands like we might expect from a galactic empire." The alien ship sent another message, this time with video. The screen showed a tall, blue-skinned humanoid in elaborate robes. The alien had 4 arms and eyes that glowed yellow. This was Emperor Tsar of the Korvax. "Humans," the Emperor sighed, his voice deep and commanding. "I am your new master. The Korvax Empire has ruled for 5,000 years. We have conquered every species we have encountered. You will bow before our might, or you will be destroyed. You have 1 hour to surrender." The transmission ended. The room was silent for a moment. Then someone chuckled. It was Dr. Lisa, from the Science Advisory Board. "I'm sorry," she said, trying to compose herself. "But did anyone else notice the ship is using fusion drives? We've had those designs for decades." General Tom nodded. "Their weapons appear to be plasma-based. Impressive, but we've been developing countermeasures for that exact type of weapon in our black projects." President Walker stood up. "How many ships do they have?" "Just the one, sir," Tom replied. "Our deep space sensors show no support fleet." They came alone. Walker walked to the window, looking at the sky where the alien ship waited. "They rule 10,000 systems, but sent 1 ship to conquer Earth?" "It appears so, sir." The president turned back to his team. "Ladies and gentlemen, I think our alien friends are about to learn something important about humans. General Tom, activate all orbital defense platforms. Dr. Lisa, I want every research station working on analyzing their technology. And someone get me Captain Steve from the Mars colony. I want to know if his experimental weapons are ready." As the hour deadline approached, Earth's response became clear. Instead of surrender, every military satellite turned toward the Korvax ship. Hidden weapon platforms revealed themselves around the planet. A Mars colony launched its fleet of stealth fighters. On the alien ship, Emperor Tsar watched in confusion as Earth mobilized its defenses. "This is impossible," he said to his second-in-command. "They are a single-planet species. How do they have weapons in deep space?" His officer checked the scanners. "Emperor, we're detecting antimatter signatures from their Mars base. That technology should be beyond them." Tsar's 4 hands clenched. "No matter. 1 ship of the Korvax Empire can hire." destroy any primitive world. But as Earth's fighters surrounded the golden ship, and as targeting lasers locked onto its hull, people across the planet weren't cowering in fear. They were gathering in streets, taking photos, making memes about the Galactic Empire that thought one ship could conquer a world of 8 billion humans who had been dreaming of this day for centuries. The countdown to Earth's response had begun, and humanity was ready to show the galaxy why you never underestimate the species that survived ice ages, plagues, world wars, and learned to split the atom just to see if they could. Emperor Tsar stood rigid on his command deck as the human response unfolded before him. The tactical display showed red dots appearing around his ship, hundreds of them. His senior officer, Commander Viel, approached with concern written across his blue features. Emperor, the humans have deployed 340 combat vessels from hidden positions. We are reading weapons charging on all of them. Tsar's yellow eyes narrowed. This was not possible. The Korvax Empire's intelligence had marked Earth as a Level 2 civilization, barely capable of interplanetary travel. Yet here they were, surrounded by a fleet that had appeared from nowhere. On Earth, President Walker connected to the alien ship through a communication channel. His face appeared on the main screen of the Korvax bridge. Behind him stood General Tom and other military leaders, all looking remarkably calm. Emperor Tsar, Walker began, his voice carrying no fear. I am President Walker of the United Earth Government. You have entered our solar system uninvited and threatened our people. Before we respond to your demands, I have a question. Tsar straightened his robes, trying to maintain his commanding presence. Speak, primitive. Walker smiled slightly. You claim to rule 10,000 systems, yet you brought one ship. Why? The question hung in the air. Tsar felt his confidence waver, but pushed forward. One ship of the Korvax Empire is sufficient to subdue any lesser species. We have done this countless times. I see, Walker replied. And how many of those species had nuclear weapons? How many had mastered antimatter? How many had been preparing for alien contact for over a century? Before Tsar could respond, General Tom stepped forward. Emperor, our scans show your ship has a crew of about 5,000. We have 8 billion people on Earth, 2 million on Mars, and another million scattered across the solar system. Even if your technology was truly superior, do you understand the mathematics of what you're attempting? On the Korvax ship, the weapons officer whispered urgently to Commander Vel. Sir, the human vessels are not just numerous. Each one is carrying weapons we cannot fully identify. Some readings suggest they have developed exotic matter weaponry. Vel's four hands trembled slightly as he relayed this to the Emperor. Tsar's confidence, built over centuries of easy conquests, began to crack. Captain Steve's face appeared on another screen, broadcasting from the Mars Command Center. Emperor Tsar, this is Captain Steve of the Mars Defense Force. I'm curious about something. Your empire has existed for 5,000 years, but your fastest ships still use fusion drives. Humanity developed fusion only 80 years ago, and we're already working on something better. How is it that your ancient empire moves so slowly? The question stung because Tsar knew the answer. The Korvax Empire had grown complacent. They had stopped innovating centuries ago, content with their superiority over the primitive worlds they encountered. But Earth was different. These humans had developed from horse-drawn carriages to space travel in merely 200 years. Dr. Lisa's voice joined the communication, broadcasting from Earth's Science Center. Emperor, we've analyzed your ship's hull composition. It's a titanium carbon composite. Impressive, but we developed something similar 40 years ago. Your shields operate on a frequency oscillation we've been studying since 2060. In fact, if I'm correct, A concentrated burst at exactly 47.3 terahertz should disrupt them entirely. As if to prove her point, one of Earth's satellites fired a beam at the Korvax ship. The golden shields flickered and failed for 3 seconds before recovering. The demonstration was clear. Earth could hurt them. Zar felt something he hadn't experienced in 300 years. Fear, not of death, but of humiliation. The Korvax Empire's reputation was built on inevitable victory. What would happen if word spread that a single planet species had stood against them? You don't understand, Zar said, trying to salvage his authority. The full might of the Korvax Empire will come for you. Thousands of ships will darken your skies. President Walker leaned back in his chair. Will they? Because our analysis suggests something different. A true galactic empire of 10,000. Systems would have sent a fleet, not one ship. They would have scouts, supply lines, and communication relays. You have none of these things. General Tom added, We think you're not an empire at all. You're raiders, aren't you? You find isolated worlds, intimidate them with one impressive ship, and take what you want. But you've never faced a species that was actually ready for you. The bridge of the Korvax ship fell silent. Around them, Earth's forces maintained their positions, weapons locked but not firing. The humans were giving them a choice. Admit the truth or test Earth's resolve. And for the first time in 5 millennia, the Korvax Empire blinked first. The silence stretched across space as Emperor Zar struggled with his response. On Earth, social media exploded with reactions. Videos of the alien ship surrounded by Earth's fleet went viral within minutes. Memes appeared with captions like, Alien, Empire, we rule the galaxy. Humans, hold my beer. In New York, crowds gathered in Times Square watching the live feed on giant screens. In Tokyo, people climbed onto rooftops to see the faint golden gleam of the alien ship. In London, scientists worked frantically to decode more of the Korvax technology. Humanity wasn't panicking. They were excited. President Walker broke the silence. Emperor Zar, let me propose something different. Instead of conquest, how about trade? Zar's forearms gestured in confusion. Trade? The Korvax Empire does not. Trade with primitives. Then let's stop calling each other names, Walker replied. You're not really an empire, and we're not really primitives. We're 2 spacefaring civilizations meeting for the first time. This could be historic in a good way. Dr. Lisa stepped forward with a tablet. Emperor, we've been analyzing your ship's emissions. Your life support systems are struggling, aren't they? A ship that size, with fusion drives, on a journey that probably took years to reach us. You're running low on supplies. Commander Vell looked at his emperor with worry. She was right. They had expected to conquer Earth quickly and resupply from the planet's resources. Their food synthesizers were failing. Water recyclers were at 60% efficiency, and their fuel reserves were lower than comfortable. Captain Steve added from Mars, We noticed your ship's trajectory. You didn't come from the direction of any major star system. You've been wandering, haven't you? Looking for an easy target? How long since you've seen home? The truth was 40 years. The Korvax ship had been traveling from system to system, maintaining the Empire's reputation through careful conquest of weak worlds. But they hadn't found a suitable target in 5 years, and supplies were running dangerously low. General Tom pulled up a star map on the main screen. We've identified 17 systems within 50 light years that show signs of primitive life. Worlds that would probably surrender to your single ship. We could provide you with coordinates, supplies, and repairs. All we ask is that you leave Earth alone and spread the word. Humans are not to be trifled with. Zar felt the weight of his crew's eyes upon him. 5,000 Korvax who trusted him to keep them alive. His pride warred with practicality. And if we refuse? Tsar asked, though his voice lacked its earlier commanding tone. President Walker stood up. Then we disable your ship, board it, and learn everything we can from your technology. Your crew will be treated humanely, but the Korvax Empire's reputation dies here. When you don't return, others will come looking. They'll find your ship in pieces, being studied by human scientists. What do you think that will do to your Empire's image? The tactical officer on the Korvax ship suddenly spoke up. Emperor, I'm detecting something else. The humans have been broadcasting our entire conversation to deep space. Anyone with subspace receivers will hear about this encounter. Walker nodded. That's right. The galaxy is watching, Emperor. This is your chance to save face. Take our offer, and the story becomes one of mutual respect between civilizations. Refuse, and everyone learns that the mighty Korvax Empire was stopped by a single planet. On Earth, a 12-year-old kid named Mike had hacked into the communication feed and was streaming it live to millions. Comments poured in from around the world. These aliens picked the wrong planet. Earth, the planet that weaponized everything, including negotiation. Imagine traveling for years just to get roasted by our president. Commander Vel approached the Emperor and spoke quietly. My lord, the humans make sense. We cannot defeat them without reinforcements, and we cannot call for help without admitting failure. Our offer gives us a path forward with dignity. Tsar looked at the tactical display again. The human ships hadn't moved, but their weapons remained locked on. He thought about the long journey here, the empty food stores, the tired faces of his crew. The Korvax Empire had built its reputation on choosing battles wisely. Perhaps it was time to choose not to battle at all. President Walker, Tsar finally said, his voice carrying a different tone, less commanding, more diplomatic. The Korvax Empire will consider your proposal, but we have conditions of our own. Walker smiled. We're listening, Emperor. After all, that's what civilized species do. They talk. The negotiation moved to a secure channel, with representatives from both sides joining the discussion. Emperor Tsar appeared more relaxed now, his forearms no longer held in the rigid posture of authority. President Walker had assembled humanity's best scientists, diplomats, military strategists, and surprisingly, a philosopher named David. Our condition is simple, Tsar began. The Korvax Empire's reputation must remain intact. We cannot be seen as weak. David leaned forward. Emperor, may I ask you something? How many worlds actually belong to your empire? Not conquered or intimidated, but truly part of your civilization? Tsar hesitated. Commander Vel answered for him. 17 systems. The rest are tributary states that provide resources when we pass through. General Tom whistled. 17 systems is still impressive. Earth only has one. But maintaining an illusion of 10,000? That must be exhausting. You don't understand, Tsar replied. The illusion is what keeps the peace. Small civilizations don't fight back because they believe we're invincible. If the truth spreads, countless wars could break out. Dr. Lisa had been running calculations. Wait, you're saying you've been preventing conflicts through intimidation? That single quotes S... actually kind of brilliant. President Walker rubbed his chin thoughtfully. So you're not conquerors. You're peacekeepers using fear as a tool. We prefer stabilizers. Vel said, the galaxy is full of young civilizations that would destroy each other fighting over resources. When they believe a massive empire watches over them, they behave. On Earth, the public was following the leaked negotiations with fascination. In Mumbai, a university professor was explaining to his class how the Korvax had essentially created a galactic protection racket. In Berlin, comedians were already writing jokes about the fake-it-till-you-make-it empire. Mike The young hacker who had been streaming everything posted a comment that went viral. So the aliens are basically cosmic mole cops pretending to be the military. Respect for the hustle. Captain Steve from Mars had a practical question. If you've been doing this for 5,000 years, you must have encountered other civilizations like us, ones that didn't buy the act. Tsar's expression darkened 3 times. Each time, we had to call our real fleet. It took years and cost many lives. We hoped Earth would be different. It is different, Walker said. We're not interested in exposing you. But we're also not going to pretend to be conquered. Here's what I propose. A mutual defense pact. The room fell silent. Even Tsar's 4 arms stopped moving. Walker continued. Earth becomes a secret ally of the Korvax. To the galaxy, we're just another primitive world that chose not to engage. But privately, we share technology, intelligence, and support. If someone challenges your 17 systems, Earth's fleet helps. If Earth faces threats, the Korvax reputation protects us. Dr. Lisa added, We've been studying your technology for the past hour. Your medical scanners are incredible, centuries ahead of ours. But your computers are surprisingly primitive. We could help each other. Vel pulled up their medical data. Our people live for 300 years on average. But we've seen your biological research. You're on the verge of breakthroughs we never considered. General Tom brought up the strategic view. Together, we'd have 18 systems of actual control, with Earth's innovation and the Korvax reputation. That's a foundation for a real empire, not just an illusion. Tsar stood slowly, his tall frame casting shadows in the bridge lighting. You would keep our secret, even though exposing us would elevate Earth's standing? David, the philosopher, spoke up. Emperor, humans understand the power of stories. We've built our entire civilization on shared myths and collective beliefs. Your empire might be an illusion, but it's an illusion that's kept peace for millennia. That's worth preserving. On the Korvax ship, younger officers were excitedly discussing the possibilities. On Earth, military leaders were already drafting plans for joint training exercises. Scientists on both sides were creating lists of technologies. To share. President Walker extended his hand to the screen. Emperor Tsar, Earth offers friendship, not submission. We'll keep your secret, help maintain your illusion, and together we'll build something real. What do you say? Tsar looked at his crew, saw hope in their eyes for the first time in decades. He turned back to the screen and, in a gesture learned from studying Earth's broadcasts, gave a thumbs up with all 4 hands. The bridge of the Korvax ship erupted in laughter, as did the Earth Command Center. The galaxy's most feared empire. And Earth's stubborn humans had found something better than conquest, understanding. Asterisk. 6 months had passed since the first contact. The Korvax ship, now fully repaired with human technology, orbited Earth as an unofficial embassy. The golden vessel that had once threatened conquest was now a symbol of the galaxy's best-kept secret. In the Joint Command Center established on Earth's moon, Emperor Tsar stood beside President Walker, watching a holographic display of the galaxy. Their blue and pink skin tones reflected the starlight as they planned their next move. The Vex Consortium is moving toward the Proxima system, Tsar said, pointing with one of his 4 arms. They've ignored 3 warnings from the Korvax Empire. General Tom studied the data. They have 12 ships. Real warships, not converted. Freighters like most raiders. This could be the test of our alliance. Captain Steve, now Admiral Steve of the combined Earth-Korvax fleet, brought up tactical projections. Our new hybrid ships are ready. Human innovation with Korvax medical. Bays and shields. 12 of theirs against 6 of ours should be interesting. Dr. Lisa had spent months working with Korvax scientists. The really funny part is what we've created. The Korvax fake empire is becoming real because of human engineering. We've turned their one ship into a template for an actual fleet. On Earth, the secret was surprisingly well kept. Officially, humanity had declined to join the Korvax Empire, and the aliens had left peacefully. Unofficially, every major government knew the truth and found it hilarious. The United Nations had a secret council called the Galactic Joke Committee. That coordinated the deception. Mike, the young hacker who had first streamed the encounter, was now Earth's youngest diplomatic attaché. He worked with Commander Val to create fake broadcasts about the Korvax Empire's mighty victories, using special effects that would make Hollywood jealous. "The Vex are entering the system," Val announced. On screen, 12 angular ships dropped. Out of hyperspace, weapons charging, the Vex commander appeared on screen, a crystalline being that sparkled with internal light. "Korvax Empire, your threats mean nothing. We know you have only one ship in this sector." Tsar stepped forward, maintaining his imperial bearing. "The Korvax Empire warns you one final time. Leave now or face our wrath." The Vex laughed, a sound like breaking glass. "One ship against 12? Your empire is a lie." President Walker whispered to Admiral Steve. "Ready?" Steve grinned. "Oh, we're ready." Suddenly, 6 ships decloaked around the Vex fleet. They were beautiful vessels, Korvax golden hull design with human stealth technology, weapons that combine both civilization's best innovations. Each ship broadcast the Korvax Empire signature, but their tactics were purely human. The lead ship's captain was Maria, Earth's best pilot. She opened a channel to the Vex. "This is the Korvax Empire's 7th fleet. You were saying something about lies?" The Vex commander's crystalline form flickered in shock. "Impossible. The Korvax don't have cloaking technology." "We do now," Maria replied, and executed a maneuver that made Tsar's jaw drop. Her ship spiraled through space, firing from angles the Vex couldn't predict. It was human creativity mixed with Korvax precision. The battle lasted 17 minutes. The Vex, expecting traditional Korvax tactics, were completely unprepared for human-style warfare. Missiles that seemed to miss came back around. Attacks came from above and below simultaneously, and one human captain actually played loud music across all channels to confuse the enemy. When the Vex fleet retreated, badly damaged but alive, they broadcasted to the entire sector. "The Korvax Empire has new weapons. They're stronger than ever." In the Lunar Command Center, both human and Korvax crew erupted in celebration. Tsar turned to Walker, his yellow eyes bright with something like joy. "Your people fight like madmen." Walker laughed. "You should see us when we're really trying." Dr. Lisa pulled up the galactic news feeds. The story is spreading. The mighty Korvax Empire defeated 12 ships with 6. Their reputation isn't just maintained, it's enhanced. David, the philosopher, had been writing a book about the entire experience. You know what the beautiful irony is? The Korvax spent 5,000 years pretending to be powerful. Then they met humans, who made them actually powerful. The fake empire became real because they tried to conquer the wrong planet. Commander Vel was reviewing applications. "Emperor, 17 more worlds have requested Korvax protection since the battle. They believe we're stronger than ever." Admiral Steve looked at the star map, now showing trade routes between Earth and the 17 real Korvax worlds. "Give us 5 years, and this alliance will control 100 systems legitimately. 10 years, maybe 1,000. President Walker raised a glass of Earth whiskey, while Tsar raised a cup of Korvax blue wine, to the galaxy's greatest joke that became its greatest alliance. As they toasted, Mike posted one last update to his secret blog. Day 180. The aliens thought they were the big fish. Turns out humans are the ocean. The Korvax Empire had revealed itself to humanity expecting submission or destruction. Instead, they found something far more dangerous: humans with a sense of humor and the technology to back it up. The galaxy would never know the truth, but Earth and the Korvax would always share the last laugh. Asterisk.